Hey, you watching this. Yes, you specifically watching the video right now. I need you to lock in and pay attention. Stop supporting your own downfall, please, for the love of God. Now, I know that, of course, people are not doing this intentionally. I'm not an idiot. Okay, well, maybe a little bit, but I'm not a complete idiot. But what you guys need to understand is that saving money today can, in a lot of cases, lead to spending a lot more money down the line. A good example of this is going to be Amazon versus diapers.com. Now, if you guys haven't heard of this story, I won't waste the whole video yapping about it, but a quick summarized version is that a company called diapers.com was competing with Amazon in the online retail space for selling diapers and other baby products that parents need to buy. Amazon approached them and they offered to buy them out. Diapers.com refused this offer, and Amazon basically said, okay, well, we're going to make your life a living hell until you bow down. And Amazon did exactly that. Amazon started undercutting them so hard that on just diapers alone, Amazon was projected to lose $100 million within a matter of months. Because of this, diapers.com was just not able to compete at all. Their options were to keep their prices the same, and then all the competition goes and buys from Amazon because it's way cheaper. Their second option was to lower their own prices, which of course would mean they're selling at a loss and not making any money that way either. Or they could raise prices and further just box out any competition that might have stuck around with them instead of Amazon. So after Amazon forced them into a corner with their big corporate dollars and deep pockets that can afford to be bled for quite some time, diapers.com gave up and sold to them. Now, the actual story is a lot worse than I'm describing it to be. I'm just trying to keep it short and sweet for the sake of this video, but I implore everyone watching to please go look at the link in the description and go read the article about this because it's absolutely disgusting. But guys, the point of this story is that, and I know that these customers were not doing it on purpose, I understand that, but by buying the cheaper option, they essentially assisted in the death of that other company. And now that that other company is dead, Amazon, of course, being the only major diaper seller in the space, cranked those prices way up. So again, you're hurting yourself in the long term. Another big reason why boycotting is such an important thing for us consumers to band together and do is because I believe that our dollar is truly the only vote we get. Now, I'm not here to ruffle any political feathers. I don't really want to get political on this channel, and to be honest, my political beliefs are probably not very well founded, but in my opinion, I truly don't think the American vote matters one bit. The thing is that even if I am wrong and your vote does actually matter, I can promise you that your dollars as a vote counts way more than the free one that the government allows you to give. So please, think about this with each and every purchase. You are voting for whatever you're buying to continue business as usual. So if you're out here and you're upset about these companies doing all these bad tactics and yet you're still out here giving them money, well, what do you think they're going to do? Clearly their strategies are working. Why would they have any incentive to stop? You need to show them the reason that it can't continue. And the reason is because you're not going to keep funding it. Not to mention, in general, it's super important for everyone on Earth to be intentional with their money. It's not something you want to just be throwing around left and right, not a care in the world, because it's going to come back and bite you in the ass one day if you are careless with your spending. I'll use this $80 game nonsense as a good example because I'm pretty upset about this. We had $60 video games for years, and as of 2020, it finally changed and went up to $70. Now, me personally, I was a little upset that it jumped, but with inflation, it makes sense. What doesn't make sense to me is that we had over a decade of games at $60, and then within 5 or 6 years of it jumping, now it wants to jump again. This I am absolutely not on board for and not okay with, especially in the day and age where games are going digital and companies are saving boatloads on manufacturing costs. My point being here, guys, that being intentional with your money usually leads to more savings, and the more people band together and are intentional, the more companies are going to have to fight to get our dollars, which is a good thing. And the thing is, too, even if you personally don't care about a price increase, maybe you're ballin', or maybe it's just a small little amount, it's not all about you either. Everyone gets affected when price goes up. So the more important question to ask is not whether or not you can afford it, but it's about whether or not it's fair. And I know there's going to be some people who watch this and think to themselves, well, it doesn't really matter. Even if I hold off from buying these stupid things that companies are putting out, it won't make a difference. Not enough people will get on board. And I think they're forgetting that throughout all of history, boycotting has been a huge part of being a consumer. And it's important to realize that I'm sure not every American citizen at the time was on board with this. There's probably a lot of people that didn't care about the British tax or were too scared to fight against it. All it took was a group of people coming together and saying no, and it was enough to, well, found an entire country. But we don't just have to focus on historical examples, even look at modern times. Something like Xbox Game Pass coming down in price is a direct result of consumers not buying into BS. They tried making it $30, it blew up in their face, and then they lowered it down. Now, a little side note, I obviously do understand that it's still higher than it was before the price increase. I believe it was 20, then jumped to 30, and then jumped down to 23 or 24. So still not great on Xbox's part, but I just wanted to illustrate the point. The other thing that really gets on my nerves with a lot of people's spending habits, at least it feels this way, is it seems like people are dependent on corporations for literally every aspect of life. If you're watching this and you use Amazon to buy your groceries, I am directly talking to you. Guys, it is so important now more so than ever that we support our local businesses. The end goal for these corporations is to get profit and do that by any means necessary. If we keep assisting them in this goal, pretty soon they will be the only ones left and they will jack up prices. Remember, the rich don't need to get any richer. They're already rich. Let's start supporting families and stop supporting hedge funds. Another big thing I've heard people list as a complaint is that in some cases it can be way too hard to do a 100% boycott. And I get it. Sometimes you have to do something you don't like in order to get by, right? Like none of us like polluting the atmosphere, but we still need to drive our car to work. So just remember, in cases where it feels like your back is against the wall, please just do something. Even if you don't stop supporting a bad practice 100%, even if you can reduce that to 50, to 25, whatever. A half measure is better than nothing. Now, obviously, the advice laid out in this video can be applied to any number of different things, but I want to make clear that the main thing I'm talking about here is Sony. Screw you guys from the bottom of my heart. Please, let's not let them get away with this. I don't want physical games to go away. And please, I'm reaching out to you specifically watching this. I want you to hear me right now. This is a one-on-one. I'm not talking to the algorithm. I'm not talking to the audience. I am talking to you. Please go out, have conversations with your friends. I understand it can be tough sometimes. I've definitely been the annoying one who harps on stuff way too much. And nobody in the room cares, but it's so important, guys. We have to band together. We have to stand up to these companies, because if we don't, nobody will. We've already been seeing what happens when nobody stands up to them. It's what got us to this point. Let's stop letting that continue. Let's stand up for ourselves. I promise we can make a difference, but it starts with you individually not supporting them, and if you can, get more people on your side, man. Word of mouth is where it's at. Okay, bye.